So something that I probably want to implement on my kids, like I want to do.
Wait, you said 3 things. I
said one thing. I said one thing. We can run it back. I said one thing.
We can run it back. I mean, we're gonna replay it.
We're gonna replay. I said one thing.
Wait, you said one thing?
I said one thing.
Okay. I think after you said one thing, did I say okay? I'm gonna tell you 3 things.
No, that did not happen. That did not happen.
Welcome to Mind Check. This is your brother Sullivan. Over here we have
your sister Sabi.
Yeah. So just a quick, brief summary of what Mind Check is about. Mind Check is a platform where we introduce different conversations. Hard conversations or
issues in the community.
Yeah. Being able to hear different point of views and perspectives.
So, and self-reflect. Basically that's the point of the podcast, and for us to just talk about different things that are happening in our community and try to get different perspectives on it.
And mind check.
And mind check. You feel me? Check your mind.
Yeah.
Mind check.
And how's your day though?
It was okay. Yeah. Not bad.
Yo, I went to get a shape up today. I don't know how good my barber did, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Yo, you can't relate. You can't relate.
I cannot relate.
It's hard.
I have a hijab on. That's not
with your barbers, you have to stay loyal to them.
So do you go to the same barber?
Yeah. You don't have. It's hard to switch your barbers. You just can't. You know. You just can't. I'm
good.
I don't know if I'm good.
Put your hoodie on if you don't like your haircut.
Nah, I'm not gonna put my hoodie on. I'll stay about that. I'll stay about that as well. But I'm not put my hoodie on. Yeah, but what we got today? What we talking about today?
So today, our topic is about African parents and their relationship with their children. Since I feel like that's an issue in our community right now. I feel like a lot of youth are going through it when it comes to their African parents and vice versa. So I feel like it's something that we should talk about, just to try to understand our parents and also understand the youth, and try to find a balance where everyone can come together and
Nah. I like what you said. I like what you said. Understanding. I feel like that's the main thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm able to understand where my parents are coming from, my parents are able to understand where I'm coming from, then everything will be smooth. You know what I'm saying? But I feel though now I feel speaking of the African Muslim community, right? The youth, we tend to feel we understand, we understand everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I don't feel we give.
We try to understand our parents. I feel it's one thing where we want our parents to understand us so much, but we don't try to understand them.
Yeah,
and their struggles and what they've been through and how they were raised.
Even though it still should be a balance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I like what you said there. We wanted them to understand us so bad, but some of us don't even give them the chance to allow them to
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. It's it's not just one side. I feel it's both sides that need.
It has to be.
So right? Yeah, it has to always be. It needs to be okay. It's both sides that have trouble trying to communicate and
Especially us and our parents, we both were raised different.
Definitely,
I was raised in a different in a total the opposite.
Also, we also have to give our parents props. They came from another country with nothing and made so much out of it.
They came from not speaking English to speaking English. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
But most of them can't. Most of them still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I feel sometimes we forget that the struggle that they went through, or the way that they were raised, and the things that they have to go through. Sometimes we just want them to just understand and go with whatever it is that we want.
So now, but alright, but I feel like now the problem is that one of the problems is some of our parents are they're closed-minded. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just stick to what they know.
Yeah, and they don't want to know anything.
Yeah, alright, this is supposed to be done this way.
Right.
If it's not, then you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So they not open-minded to
to new ideas and new ways.
They have to accept the way how we are
I feel African parents they think it's I give you food, shelter, and clothes, and that's me showing you love, and that's me showing you care. I feel
is that wrong?
No, it is wrong to a certain extent, because a child needs mental like, I don't want to say mental health, but they need to be cared for mentally, emotionally, not just by, oh, here, give you clothes, give you food.
But I feel like that was introduced to us here, like growing up here. Like hold on. Growing up here, when you go to school, like, you know, we are told like, yes, you need to support your child or your partner with not just physically but mentally as well.
Yeah.
But vice versa in Africa, they grew up in like, oh, I just need to like make sure my family is fed.
Okay.
I buy them clothes. That's all they know.
But that's being responsible, right? And that's a good thing. But I'm just saying that even though they were just raised on that, they have to also understand that that's not the only thing that's gonna keep your child. Like, I'm telling you right now that a lot of these youth, a lot of these kids, the reason why they and their parents are not seeing eye to eye, or you see them out on the streets and stuff like that, is because they're not being taken care of, like, emotionally. Even though that sounds like...
No, it is though.
You know, they're not being taken care of. Like, they can't speak to their parents about the things they're going through or, like, issues that they're having. So they go outside and speak to friends, you know, and their friends give them ideas or things that are probably not correct. But that's the people who are listening to them, who are showing them that sort of care, you know. So, like, I don't know. Like, I understand, like, African parents, to be like, oh, I clothe you, I give you food, so, like, that's enough. But it's not really enough for a child for them to be able to, like, come to you and for you guys to have that sort of, like, relationship. A healthy relationship. You know?
Like, no, again, I do agree with you, but, like, I want to speak of, like, in terms of, like, let's say if I was, like I said, like, for us, like, one thing is, like, understand what we want and what we coming from, and understand what do they know, you know what I'm saying, and like what do they don't know, you know what I'm saying? Who's it? Is it good? It's all good. But yeah, I mean, for like I'm not against, like I totally agree with you.
Right.
I just want to bring the point that the fact that they are so close-minded and thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say close-minded.
I don't even know what it is at this point.
I would say like that's all they know, and that's what they want to stick to.
Yes.
So like now going forward.
Right. But I feel like okay, this is why I feel like it's okay for them to be like, this is all we know, this is all we want to stick to. But I feel like if a parent really want to like do right by their child, like I feel like if you really want to do right by the child, you want to also understand, okay, what is it that you need from me? What is it that I'm lacking? Self-reflect. You feel me?
Self-reflect. But you know what's crazy? Now it got to a point where like a lot of the parents are forced to, like they have no option but to allow their daughters or sons to express themselves the way they want to, because it's to a point where like they feel like, oh, like now I don't know what to do with my son now.
Right.
You know, like
they lost him.
They lost him. So like now's the time where like I'll have my son express how he feels. Not because I wanted to, but I feel like that's like the last option that I have now. Right. Which is sad.
Which is sad, and it's like it's not healthy. Like I feel like it's also like an issue where like another issue that I really want to bring up is like, you know, a lot of these kids, like when they out in the streets and stuff like that, not wanting to come home, or they decide that they want to come home really late and stuff. Some parents, like, you know, they'll get really angry about that. And sometimes like when a home is not really a home for a child, I feel like that's also what leads them to be like, I want to stay outside. Like, if you always come home and your father and your mom is always, like, nagging at you, like, you know, everything that it comes out their mouth is, like, negative towards you, they bring you down, they make you feel bad, then it's really hard for you to be like, yo, let me come home. You know, you're going to try to come home when they're already asleep, or so you don't have to really deal with them. And I feel like it's sad. It's not, like, a healthy relationship, and just to say, like, that's what African parents are not realizing. It's not that the child don't want to be home, it's the fact that when they come home, it don't really feel like a home, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's an issue, a really big issue, because that's what leads them to be out in these streets, and then you walk around like, why he's in the corner?
I wouldn't say that's
not 100%,
the main thing. But
like it does.
I wouldn't say that's the main thing. Yeah, it does. I do think it's an aspect of like why, but I mean everything starts from home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
everything starts at home.
Right.
But
because your parents are your first teacher, your first caregiver, the first people to like show you what love is. You know what I mean? Like they're the first people you're exposed to when you're born. So like you know how parents like to be like, I was born before you, so I know more than you. So like to teach me it, you know what I mean? Like, but if you don't have that relationship where you're teaching me how to care, how to love, then how am I supposed to show you that? You know what I'm saying? So then that's where the unbalance comes from.
Hold on. Say that one more time, because you know I wasn't done processing that. Like
if you're not showing me care and love, and how am I supposed to show you that? So that's where the unbalance comes.
Hold on. I think we're getting somewhere. I think, right?
Okay.
The parents, their focus is on more of respect.
Okay.
Not just like they're not thinking about care
and
love. They think it's more of respect.
Yeah, so, which is extremely important.
And I think that's what they're looking for. That's what they are looking for from their children. Mm-hmm. So like when I actually do something, I expect you to do it out of respect because I'm your parent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of like, so would you say like do they respect their children? I think maybe their respect will be like be able to provide.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm gonna be like they respect the kids. I feel they don't. Respect is one thing. Like do they respect the kids' decision? Do they respect the kids' feelings? Because respect can just be all of that. So it doesn't have to be a broad thing of like do they respect the kid. I don't think all of them just wake up and be like they're so disrespectful to the child. But it's like do they consider the child? You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. Like I'm just trying to say like when things are just unbalanced, it's really hard for like people to touch, like for things to be.
All right. So what's the like? All right. So if you was to choose 3 main things that will like build a relationship between.
I feel like the first, like when we said in the beginning, like I feel like it would be nice to sit down with your dad or with your mom and they try to understand.
Hold on. This is modern society talking about daddy sitting down with. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not using excuses, right? We just being considerate of like how they were raised. So it's like me telling you to like something that is something that they do. They feel like. Oh, that's normal. Okay. If I tell you to do it, it's like not like you. I'll put you in an awkward position. And like, I'm not doing that. Like that's not normal to me. I didn't grow up, like no, you know what I'm saying, like being accepted of that.
Right.
So, however, yes, all right. So you said like for them to sit down.
Yeah, I feel like they know what your kid likes. What do your kid do after school? What do you like to do? What makes you happy? Like what makes you laugh?
So if I grew up right, my father never done that to me. I know, like I didn't have TV to like know what is having a seating with my parent. I didn't witness that. So when I come to America, like this is like the thoughts I think I would have if I was in that position. So now I have my children born and raised in the Bronx, New York, or in the United States, and I feel like whatever they watch on TV is like toxic and mess up their brain, right? It take them off culture and like and morality. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So some parents look at that as like, oh, why would I sit with my son? For him to like obviously if the son wants something, he can approach me.
Nah, you see that's the thing. Can your son really approach you though? If all you and your son do is say salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam, and that's it, how can your son come and approach you talking about he wants something?
No, alright. So but for men in general, it'd be hard for us to express our feelings.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like in general.
Yes, and that's a whole other topic.
Hold on. I'm able to express my feelings to my mom more than my father. Okay. I don't know why yet.
Alhamdulillah, that's good.
I don't know why yet, but all right. So starting from men, a lot of men, some men, they're not comfortable expressing their feelings. Okay. For whatever reason that is.
Yeah.
That's one, and it's easier for us to express our feelings to our mom.
Okay.
So when it comes to our dad, it's just like that.
But like some people don't even have the luxury. Like even you saying that you could express your feelings to your mom, that's something big. Because some men don't even have that luxury of saying I could express myself to their mom. Some people just deal with the fact that they can't express themselves to their parents. Period. You understand what I'm saying? Even at least you even have one parent where you could even lean on. Like you know what I'm saying? Not only you, but like I'm just saying in general. Some people don't even have that. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like how
would you do that?
How
that's
can
what I'm saying. So like now, it's like. Sometimes I feel like there's no option until like it gets to that stage. Okay. Until it gets to that stage where I feel like, all right, now I'm losing my child. Now I have no choice but to sit and ask him, how do you feel?
Right.
After
some parents might think like they have no choice.
No, bro. Parents are crying now, bro. They crying, calling their friends. Yo, my son, like my daughter, I don't know what to do with him. They call the local imam. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
When like you said, when all you had to do was just like. Sat with him to the beginning.
And understand from the beginning.
I told my mom, I was like, yo, now a lot of these mothers are like crying about their daughter, like how their daughters are
outside.
No, like let's say they get engaged and then they get divorced and like, stuff like that. I'm like from the jump, a lot of the mothers know like their daughters don't like
don't want the
don't want that person, and they allow it, and then they get surprised.
Yeah, so like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, are you respecting their emotion? Like, that's a disrespect to it. Like, I don't want something. Like, I'm not okay with something, and then you push me towards it. You know what I mean? Like.
And so in this conversation, I'm gonna be speaking more as
the parent.
No. What I feel like what's going through the parent's mind.
That's the thing.
So I agree with you.
Remember.
So, but it's a difference when somebody doesn't know, like.
Hold on.
If I don't look at, I'm sorry, sister, touch it.
Yeah,
she take it. If I don't know that me not listening to my daughter's like for her to express her feelings.
Okay.
If I don't look at that's not respecting her
then how will you know, right?
I wouldn't know what I'm doing is wrong.
Okay, this is my thing. At the end of the day, we are all humans, right? We are all humans. We all know how it feels to be sad, how it feels to be mad, how it feels to be angry, how it feels to be wronged, right? So as a parent, you think they don't know how it feels to be wronged, how it feels to be sad, how it feels to be happy. Like, for you to just be like, oh, I was just raised like this, so I don't know how you're feeling when it's done to you.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Hold on. A lot of these parents also went through things. They've been sad before. They've been angry before. They know that their parents have done things to them that made them feel bad. So you can either take the role where you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing to my kid because that's all I know, or you could be like, you know what, I know how that felt, and I want to do something different. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna be like, oh, that's how I was raised. That's how I was raised, and that means no one can ever be blamed for what they do.
Yeah. All right. So again, so going back to the three things you said don't need. One is what you said. Sit down.
I feel like they need to sit down and try to find an understanding, trying to find what you can like. And I also feel like also like do what you say. Some parents, you tell your kid do this, do that, but they're not doing the same thing. I feel like that's also a lack of what's going on in the community. Like, for example, a parent be like, go pray, go read the Quran, and the parent, all they do is sit down and watch TV. Like, I feel like also like you have to be an example for your child. You understand what I'm saying? Like we said in the beginning.
But, all right, so hold on. Just hold on to that. Do you think that's more as like the person himself or herself? Like, that's something like, because these are certain principles. Like, if I know, like, if I'm an advisor with to something, I'm most likely, I know it's best. I'm most likely doing it. Or like, because you said like, if she's advising her son or her daughter to go pray. Okay. She's not praying at all.
Right.
Yeah, so that's not good parenting.
No.
But then that also relates to like, that also goes towards like the religion aspect of like.
Yeah, that's
like her iman.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Yeah, but I'm just saying like basically that example was just like a show and tell thing. Like, if you want your kid to be something, you also show them that you're doing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you want your kid to show you love, some parents, like you said, they be crying, like my kid, like they're so mean to me, or they're rude to me and stuff like that. Sometimes if you're not showing your kid that sort of behavior, like the love and the caring and stuff like that, then sometimes because it can't be all the time, it's really hard for the child. Yeah, it's really hard for the child to show you that back, Like, parents don't understand, like, kids want their parents' love. Like, no matter, like, everyone wants it. I feel like it's something that we all want. But sometimes when your parents are just not showing you that, it hurts so much. You know what I mean?
All right, this is another question. But, all right, do you think it's possible to, like, for, like a parent to, like, not love their child? Like, I mean, do you think like that exists in our community? Like
in our community?
Because
I don't think they don't love their child. I think they just don't know how to love their child. I don't think they don't love their child. Like, because at the end of the day, they want to be like, yo, my kid is a doctor now. Like, they want good for their kid. Or, my kid is doing good in school. They want to hear that that's my product. That's what I birthed. Like, you want to hear that.
But that's not more of like, because that can be taken as, yes, my son is doing so good, and I just feel so good about it. Or like, this is my product, like, like look at me, I birthed this.
Yeah, I feel like it's both. Like, trust me. Like, I feel like it's not about do they love. I don't think they. Like, I'm not gonna say they don't love.
Because I've been hearing like I've heard it several times. Yeah. Someone could say like, oh, my father, nah, he like not. You know what I'm saying?
Like, they don't like their dad.
And they feel like the dad don't like them, or the mother don't like them.
Yeah, exactly. Because that emotional care is not there. So how am I supposed to care like you if it doesn't seem like you can like me? And like, remember when we said. So
again, do you think care should be like like anywhere around the world, you think like care should be given the same, like is this type of care and this is it, or do you feel like there's chances of like different types of cares that like just around the world? Because like this is a good example, right?
Right.
Obviously, like the way they grew up, there was a different type of way that they were showing care.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, well, care is, yeah.
What care is in America today is different.
It's different, yeah.
So I think that's the conflict.
That's the
because
problem, yeah.
people, the kids in Africa who were raised in that environment, they don't feel like their mother don't like them or not.
No.
Because that's what they know as like showing care.
Right, it's true.
So.
But like.
So I
this is a whole different thing, but like let's just do this example, right? So you know how in our African community, especially like in specifically the Muslim African community, how we send our kids away to go to boarding school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like so now as a parent, you send your kid away to go to boarding school, like to learn the Quran or just for them to just be there for boarding school, and you don't know what happens to them. You know, some kids come back, they've been physically abused, like sexually abused, and like traumatized by the experience that they had over there. But alhamdulillah, they come back, let's just say they memorize the Quran or they're behaving more properly or whatever. Now, if you come back, right, as a kid, like some kids, they might be like resentful to their parents, like thinking like it's their parents' fault that those type of things happen to them, right? So now, like, now you come back and now you and your parents are like not even on good terms. Like, you know, you guys don't even have like some sort of connection where you could tell them like, oh, this is what happened to me. You understand? Like now I'm not gonna say hate starts to grow in your heart, but you understand what, like, you start to shut down.
So was that a fault from a parent or like?
That's the thing. I don't want to say it was a fault for a parent. I'm just saying like you see where when you're not able to sit down and have that understanding and for us to talk, like the kid holds that in, so you don't even know like this happens to your kid.
As being a parent, you should take that extra step and like have my child be like,
oh, how are you? Yeah, like. How was your experience? Like even a simple when you come in the door and your parents be like, "Salaam alaikum, how was your day?" Like even that sounds small, but that means a lot. Like oh, like my day was this and that.
Yo, I know for it, the fathers don't be giving that, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, based off my experience and like my some friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like the fathers just be like, yo.
Like just sometimes I come home and my mom be like, oh, how was your day? And like no matter how upset I am or probably something happened, I feel kind of nice. I'm like, oh, my mom is asking me like, how was my day? You know, it feels good because it's a different type of care. Like the same way the love that a parent has for a kid is different. The love that a kid has for their parent is different. You feel me? Like you want that care and that love, and that's just I don't know. It's just something that I feel like just needs to be spoken about. Like I don't want it to be like it's a parent's fault. Or so
it has to be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like it needs to be like again.
And also like the reason why like I'm saying like I've pointed out like these different things. It's just to be able to like project like what are some possible like views that the parents have. You know what I'm saying?
Like what's going through their mind?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I mean, so, I understand. Like, I feel like the parents themselves are going through things where they're traumatized.
Yo, you know what's crazy?
And they have like.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
How do you think our children, like our relationship with our kids, gonna be like?
I feel like the first issue is gonna be.
It's gonna be chaos, bro. I feel like it's gonna be chaos, bro. Yo, our children. I
feel like what's going on in this generation where we're just obsessed with social media and stuff like that. I feel like
these kids,
like our kids are gonna feel the impact of that too. That's the thing. Like every generation has their troubles, and that's
what's worse. I mean, like
what's worse? Like my parent being on social media, but knowing that I got a mental health issue. Or my parents just not knowing I have a mental health issue, not knowing what's going on, and just decides to give me, I don't know, like,
you're right.
It's a lot. There's no right or wrong answer to this, it's just
I'm just saying,
my mind.
It's gonna be
chaos.
Like, I can't even imagine it.
It's gonna be chaos. I mean, like, I don't want to say the generation's better.
No, we don't know. I don't, like, inshallah, it can get better. I mean, it can be better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's what is important.
But that depends on us, bro. Like, I mean, that depends.
About it, and for us to try to learn from our parents and not do what our parents did, and also for us to self-reflect so that we won't do it to our kids, whatever it is that we're going through.
What is one thing we're doing right now that our parents didn't do?
I feel like
I'm gonna tell you one. When it comes to our behavior,
right? Like
drugs and all that stuff.
Yeah, our parents wasn't really too much into it. But the reason why they wasn't into it, the environment.
Exactly.
Let's talk
so it's
about
the environment.
That.
So
our parents brought us right in the Bronx. You can't get.
Okay, but if we can't give our parents an excuse of like because
they're not getting an excuse, but we don't have an excuse.
We don't have an excuse.
I'm just saying that our environment is what exposes us to those type of things that you just mentioned.
Everything. Like remember we said everything starts where?
In the home.
In the home. And our environment is also called
the home.
Home
anything
too.
Yeah.
So if we're not able to like fix ourselves, yo, you know I felt like man, I felt like we just touched like so, you know what I'm saying? Like you felt that, right?
I felt that.
Environment is heavy on the environment.
That's a whole other topic though.
Heavy on the environment.
But then again, if your environment is not good, your home itself is not good. Come on, like I'm not saying what do you expect to happen to the kid. But like, it's like too many things.
Hold on. Rewind that back, bro.
If your
home is not good, and then your environment is not good.
Come on, like what do you expect to happen to the kid? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying because there's some kids when that happened to them, they did amazing job. But I'm saying like you're exposing them to more negative than the positive. So then like which
and we see kids that like came from a positive home, right? And then they were able to like live through like this negative environment around them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But because the parents was on them and like
home and care
them, and like you see
educate them,
right?
But then
I'm not saying all cases, but some,
some cases.
Some.
I feel like the best thing we can do is self-reflect. Right? We know everything that our parents did. We're gonna try not to do the same. Create this positive home. Also create a positive environment. And that comes with the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we're able to like build our own community,
like we responsible. Like we can do so much. Like I don't know. Like again, this is not a thing bashing parents, bashing kids. Because at the end of the day, like there's a lot of wonderful kids out here. I feel like the parents are missing out on like such a good kid. Like kids come to you and they talk to you about whatever they're going through or like their goals and aspirations and stuff. And it's like I wish the parents can see that side of them.
Understand?
You know what I mean?
Like I don't like.
And like, vice versa.
No, but coming from a parent, I don't understand my kid coming to me with their life goals. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's like presented to them is all new. Not even new. They don't understand. They don't understand.
But the question is, do you want to understand?
This is it. So
you can't understand everything.
So if you're closed-minded,
right? And that's the.
All right. So now, question. If I'm aware that my parents closed-minded, right? What would I do?
Okay. If you're aware that your parents are closed-minded, right? Okay, so a closed-minded parent basically like they're not open to new ideas.
Yeah,
but then what do you do? What do you do? It's really hard to talk to them. Then you know what I mean? Like I don't even know what to do. Like if my parent is closed-minded, they don't ever want to hear anything. What do I do?
So
because at the end you don't want to. I don't want to. That's the thing. Like a lot of these kids, they're acting up because they're rebelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So would you be rebellious or you will like?
I'm a good child.
Like you will say, all right, you know what? Since I understand where my parent came from and the environment they was raised in.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to understand them.
And she's closed-minded. Would you? All right. So some people could argue that, all right, I wouldn't still allow them to emotionally abuse me.
Yeah, no. You see, some people wouldn't allow that, and they have that right because when you're emotionally abused. It's hard for you to do other things because being emotionally abused and stuff, it doesn't just stop you like, oh, I'm sad, but it stops you from doing so many other things because you don't have the courage, you don't have the energy. You're sad, you're down. That's what I'm saying. Like it's bigger than what it seems. But like again, we have to like wrap up and stuff. So I wanted to ask you like I wanted to ask you like if it's one thing that you wanted to like implement on your kid, like what would it be? Like something that you wish you experienced as a kid and you would just want to like implement on your kid.
Me just being the person I am, I love education.
Okay.
So like I'm gonna try my best like provide my wife, kids, like for us to like create this educational
like for like to be like I agree.
Also being able to like emotionally express ourselves.
Yeah, like with your son. If you have a son, inshallah, he comes home, ask him how's your day. Dap him and just show him that. Like you'll see a difference.
But I mean, we all kind of young right now. So if I get a son right now at this age, it's gonna be more that kind of relationship.
Inshallah.
But if I'm like 50, 60.
You never know. It could still be that relationship. Depending on you trying to have a kid at 50, 60.
Allah bless me.
Okay, so something that I probably want to implement on my kids, like I want to do.
Wait, you said 3 things. I
said one thing. We can run it back. I said one thing.
We can run it back. I mean, we're gonna replay it.
We're gonna replay. I said one thing.
Wait, you said one thing?
I said one thing.
Okay. I think after you said one thing, did I say okay? I'm gonna tell you 3 things.
That did not happen. What I will implement on my child that I probably would want to experience is like homeschool. I feel like a lot of people are against it, but I'm like rooting for it. Like I wouldn't want my kids in public schools, charter schools, Catholic schools. I want my kids homeschooled. Yeah, I definitely want my kids. That's something that I made that decision. And
like you. I know since we're on camera, I don't want to say dead. But you dead?
Yeah, I'm dead on that.
Yeah. I mean, like. I spoke about it, I shared it.
And people say like if you homeschool them, they might be antisocial and stuff. Okay, I'll put them in programs.
Yo, like I've heard that.
Yeah, it's not.
So like if you homeschool them, they'll be antisocial.
It's not true. Because if you still
that.
like, let's just say your kid is homeschooled and you still travel around with them and they're still in different activities and programs.
Bro, after school programs.
Yeah, I'm homeschooling. That's something that I would want to implement on my kid for sure. My kid is being homeschooled. So inshallah, this is the ending to the conversation about African parents and the relationship with the children. We might have a part 2. It all depends.
With a guest, yeah. I guess we can.
Just to have
especially like someone that already have
kids.
A kid.
That'd be dope.
We can bring a parent. African parent.
We could bring a whole African parent.
I could bring my uncle. He gonna turn up.
You're gonna bring your uncle.
He gonna turn up.
We might bring his uncle.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, stay tuned, for more episodes coming.
Mind check.
You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a host, Salaf.
And your co-host, Berto.
Alright. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.